You want to explain the snow cat?
Sure. Its whiskers are made out of sticks.
Aww.
Its eyes are little mulch chips.
Mulch chips.
This is a piece of straw.
Oh, and a rock nose.
Yep.
And little cat ears. It's kind of dirty, but we didn't get much snow, so I guess that's the best you could do, huh?
Yeah.
Kind of dirty. Well, it's cute. Thank you for making a snow cat.
You're welcome.
Hey there, friends. So today I'm going to be making some banana jerky, and it's really, really easy to do. So the first thing you do is just take a banana. You know, these might be a little bit past their prime. Some people like them like this. Other people think this is a little bit, further than what they would like to go. Everybody has different taste, of course. I think these are still perfectly good to eat, but we're going to go ahead and make them into some jerky. And it's really, again, easy to do. It actually takes one ingredient, and that's bananas. So you open the banana, and then you can slice it if you want little pieces, or you can do larger pieces like that. You can even do bigger pieces than that and not even cut the banana in half and just slice it the whole way down. So, yeah. Throw it on the dehydrator sheet, and then after we get them all on here, we want to work quickly to make sure that these don't brown. But we're not going to use any preservatives or anything else. We're just going to use just nothing but the bananas, throw them on the sheet, and then we're going to get them in the dehydrator. And there is other ways you can make it. I'll explain that in a second. Okay, so I have my two trays here ready, the bottom tray, top tray, got them all peeled and everything. As you can see, they're in pretty good shape. There aren't a whole lot of bruises and things like that, but if they had a bunch of bruises, you can always cut out those parts and just keep mainly the better parts. So I do, again, have to work quickly, so I'm going to go ahead and get this in my dehydrator, and I'm going to set it to 135 degrees. If you have a solar dehydrator, feel free to use that, although the results are going to vary, of course. And then you can use the oven. If you set your oven to the lowest temperature possible and then put it in your oven with the door slightly open, this will be less fun in the summertime because it might heat up your house a little bit, but maybe it'll be fine in the winter. But yeah, you can just leave the door open and then put them in there, and it'll take about half as much time. But every one of these methods are going to make a different final product, so that's definitely something to keep in mind. It's winter here while I'm doing this, so dehydrator is the only obvious choice in my opinion, especially since I have one. So again, setting it to 135 degrees, I'm going to go ahead and get this started. Who wants to try out the banana jerky for our friends?
Me.
It's a hard job, but somebody's got to do it. Not like you've never had this. You've eaten these like a lot of times. Dried bananas. What do you think?
Good. Good.
Good flavor? Yummy banana snack?
Yes. Yes.
All right. Hey there, friends. We just got back from Home Depot. A couple of reasons. They have this really cool kids class. I don't know if you guys ever do that, but the first Saturday of every month, Home Depot has this really cool little kids class where you can go in and build stuff. Show off your wagon. How does that look? I like that. It came with stickers. It was really easy to build. It was really cool. So anyway, the second reason is because last night we had a little bit of an incident, unfortunately. My neighborhood here hasn't always been, not terrible, but it hasn't been the best either. We've had some issues with people, just going through our cars and stuff. And we have this alleyway next to our house, and it seems like it attracts riffraff, if I can call it that. I don't know. People that aren't quite so, quality, let's put it that way. Even right after we bought the house, someone was like in the alleyway over here in the back of our yard, peeing in our yard. Yeah, what a nice, her home, buying a new home gift. Anyway, so last night, I was just sitting on the couch with my husband. We were kind of poking around, getting ready for bed or whatever, and I heard a noise. So I looked outside my window, and, there wasn't anyone immediately close, but over down the road, there was this guy who was kind of walking up slowly, and he's all looking around. I'm like, well, that's weird. That wasn't the source of the noise, but what's that? And so, anyway, he was kind of stopping, and he was standing in front of our house, and he was looking around on both sides of our house because we have gates on both sides, and he's all looking at our like my cars. He's looking in the cars, looking around the cars, and I'm going around to the side of the house, and he's all like walking around the side, and I'm like, oh my gosh, this guy is like casing our house. He's like about to break into our house right now. And then literally like 30 seconds later, a whole bunch of police cars pulled in, and I was like, did somebody else report this guy for looking sketchy or what in the world? And so they started talking to him, and then next thing I know, like just a few seconds later, somebody was knocking on our front door. I'm like, all right, maybe they were asking us if we saw anything about the sketchy guy. It was actually the sketchy guy, and he pulled out his badge. He was a police officer. And he's all, yeah, I saw somebody who was running away from me, and he was running down the alleyway last time I saw him. So I was just looking around, seeing if we can find him anywhere. And so I'm like, okay, good. Good news that the sketchy guy wasn't going to break into our house. Bad news that the cops are after somebody right next to our house. So I'm looking around in the backyard and stuff like that, and a little while later, I saw a guy come out from over by where my goat shed was, and he came over here to this gate, and he was kind of like looking around, and then he goes back to the back of the yard, and then climbs over the pallet fence back there into the goat yard. So I was like, okay, this doesn't look like a police officer looking for the guy. This looks like the guy they're looking for. So I ran outside in the front yard, and I went and talked to this, female officer out there. She was like, ma'am, get in your house. It's not safe to be out here right now. And I'm like, okay, well, I just wanted to let you know that, if you're looking for someone, there's a weird guy hiding in my backyard. She's like, ma'am, please go back inside your house. We have the area surrounded, and we're looking for the man. And I'm like, I'm just letting you know there's like a guy who's walking around in my yard, and he is, looking pretty sketchy. It might be the guy you're looking for. And she was like, okay, ma'am, please go back inside your house. And I'm like, fine, whatever. So I went inside, and I watched around, watched, of course. And they shined some lights, but nobody even came back here. And so about 10 minutes later, I came back out here, and I'm like, they can't tell me to keep me inside my yard. I'm not just going to let some weird guy over by my goats, just hiding. So I came out here. It wasn't probably very smart. But I came out armed with nothing but a flashlight, looking for the guy. I didn't see anything. Maybe he hopped over the fence into my neighbor's yard. But yeah, long story short, eventually that lady did end up coming back to my front door and said, hey, we have him in custody now. And so I'm like, well, thanks for letting me know. Now I can sleep better. Not. So we go to bed, my husband and I, and of course, unfortunately, as I'm watching out the back door for this guy, my kids, their room is where the back door leads. Their room. And so I've done a lot of things to like help protect my house and keep it nice, keep it like safe and, whatnot. But the back door isn't somewhere where I've put a lot of, time into. And also these gates, which is why I'm back from Home Depot. Not just because of the kids' class, but I'm gonna chain these things shut. This gate is the one that the guy came through. So, yeah. Anyway, I don't know. There's a lot of things I like about this house. I like that it's been really affordable for all this time for us, but, again, there are some things that I'm just not as excited about. Things like that. I mean, we have some air quality issues here. There's a highway just to the south of us, and so a bunch of the smog blows this way when the cars are driving by and the wind is coming from the south, and just different things like that. My husband and I, just to help connect some dots, we have been saving money to try to buy another house. And, that's what the credit thing was about, improving your credit score and all that stuff. And that's what the Saving the Money video is about, because I typically put out videos that have to do with what I'm actually doing in life. But anyway, so that's what that's all about. That's what we're trying to do. And it just seems like in our area, and with the housing market the way that it is around here, it's like no matter how much money we save, it's never enough. We save a little bit and the housing market goes up, and then we save a little bit and then the housing market goes up, and it's like we can't keep up with it. And it's not like we even want like a big house on the hill. We don't need a castle. I just want maybe a little bit bigger of a house in a little bit better, of an area. I like what we had in the city here. The city is a good place to live. There's like 3 grocery stores within 5 minutes of my house right now. Home Depot is literally just down the street. I mean, it's really, the city has its perks. It does. But I do kind of want to move out of the city and then out into the country. I'm kind of tired of this kind of stuff, because this isn't even the only time this sort of thing has happened. Like 6 weeks ago or so, maybe 5, I don't know, a little over a month ago, somebody came over here who was trying to dodge the police, and they were hiding over by my greenhouse in between my shed here. And so they caught him and took him or whatever. And then like a month before that, we came out to feed the chickens, and there was like this backpack over here next to the alleyway. Somebody, I'm guessing, was running away from probably the police again and threw it over my fence. And so I went and I looked in the backpack, and there's like this flashlight, which I did a little research. It looks like it's a flashlight that's actually a taser. But it's designed to, you know, look like it's just a flashlight, but it's actually a taser and flashlight both. And then it had like this scale, which, you know, come on, it could be used for letters. It might be a letter scale, but let's just be honest, it's probably a drug scale. So anyway, it was just like this backpack of stuff people ditched over my fence. I don't want my kids to find this kind of stuff. So I don't know. The alleyway next to my house I thought was a good thing when I first moved in, but it really didn't turn out to be that great. It's definitely attracts some riffraff and just sketchy people and stuff like that. But anyway, I don't know. The neighborhood, I think, is going downhill a little bit, and I really want to just move away, and it seems like I'm trapped. No matter how hard I try, I keep saving money to try to, you know, save for a down payment, and I have really good credit, and yet we still can't find, you know, just a nice little house with just a little bit of land, a little more than the 1/10 of an acre we have here. Somewhere with fresh air, some clean water. I mean, and not like I'm like set my sights that high. Anyway, not to sound whiny, it just, anyway. So the point is, what I was hoping to, you know, have you get from this is A, you want to be prepared. Don't think, oh, well, you know, we'll just figure that out later. I bought some screws at Home Depot. These are $6.50 for a box of what? A pound? I don't even know how many's in here. Probably, okay, so 73-ish screws, which is like a ton. So $6.50 for this box of screws. I'm gonna throw them in the doors. When they make doors, sorry if I'm jumping around. I did not sleep very well last night. After this whole ordeal, I tried to go to bed, and it was like my husband laid right down and went right to sleep, and I'm like tossing and turning, thinking, I don't know, just upset about this whole thing. I mean, seriously, how would you feel if the cops were like surrounding your neighborhood? They're like down at the end of the alleyway, in front of my house, down the street. I mean, they had the whole like block surrounded, you know, trying to pin this person in. And then you look out your back door where your kid's room is, and then you see this person hiding in your backyard. I mean, it shook me up quite a bit. Just as, you know. So yes, I'm not just being a whiner. Yeah, it was hard to get to sleep last night. Where was I going with this? Oh, the screws. If you put these screws, like good solid 3-inch screws, into the hinges on the hinge side of your door, and then the other side, the strike plate side, it makes it to where it's a lot harder to kick your door down. I had some extra screws laying around, and I did my front yard a long time ago, back when I put out that video about adding security to your house. But I never did my backyard, my back door, which is obviously right next to my backyard. And so last night when the guy was in the backyard, I'm thinking, oh crap, you know, if he tries to like kick the door in and come inside the house or whatever, I don't really have much to protect us from being able to have that happen. And so yeah, we have a security screen door, but it wasn't shut, and I wasn't about to go open the door while he was right there. Yeah, so I guess that was all I was going to say. Be prepared ahead of time for stuff like this, because you never know when something is going to happen. So take the time to add a little security to your house and make sure it's ready, so that in the event of, you know, someone in your neighborhood that's not good, even if you live in a better neighborhood, sometimes those get targeted because, you know, we've never had our house broken into. We don't look like we have money. We drive old cars. Our house is small. Nobody's going to think, oh yeah, that's where to break in and buy, but, you know, steal a bunch of expensive stuff. No. The better neighborhoods, even if you think your neighborhood is better, it may get targeted because, you know, that's where people with money go, and if they have a nicer house, then you're probably going to have nicer electronics and things like that to steal too. So, yes, be prepared. Get stuff done ahead of time. I would highly recommend having stuff in place before when you need it to be there, not once it's already taken place. And secondly, if you're struggling in life with things and you feel kind of trapped and like you're really, really, really working really hard towards something, know that you're not alone. A lot of us out there are doing the same exact thing. It feels like we're on this like hamster wheel of life where sometimes no matter how hard we try, it just doesn't get anywhere. But I'm not going to give up. I'm going to keep trying. And it's just like weightlifting. Weightlifting can be hard and it like makes you sore, but then in the end you end up stronger. And so that's what I feel like is happening to us with our life right now. We're weightlifting and even though these things in life are hard, I feel like I'm going to be a stronger person because of it. There's the brighter side. Thank you for following my rant there. Hopefully that was helpful to you. I need to go chain my other gate. Okay, I'm gonna see if I can do this in this awkward corner, but see the hinges? Let's take one out. See, look at these tiny screws that come with the door. They literally go into the casing of the door, but not even into the door jamb or the frame. So by replacing these tiny screws with these big ones, not only does it hold it, you know, of course the hinge up and the door up, but then it actually anchors it to the actual framing of the house, which makes the door much, much harder to kick in. So I would highly recommend this for sure if you want to add security to your home.